Buenos días. Vamos a ver. Al final no lo encontré. Bueno. No, lo intenté. Salud saludable. En el hospital. Las tacas, sí, al final me gusta más. La sierra. Prefiero este. Por ahora es lo que más me está gustando. Sí, está bien. Acción. ¿Qué más? Este flujo intenso de pasa que el anticuario no tenga tiempo para asistencia, sangre. Vamos bien. ¿Para dónde estoy? Ah, estoy cerca del hospital. Ah, claro. Lo intenté, capaz falta algo, algún evento.
Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they hiding? I should investigate.
Entonces eso.
It's locked, all right.
Hablar con este buen hombre.
I'm Dr. Reed. Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir. Especially when he was supposedly dead.
A colleague? Are you a doctor too?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadana. Now, I'm just Mr. Chadana, pawnbroker and humble guardian of this morgue.
What do you mean, you used to be a doctor? Was your license revoked?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn shop while taking care of the dead. But I used to be a real doctor.
A ver, vamos a ver qué dice este buen señor.
Do you work here alone?
Yes, very easy work, sir. All I have to do is watch a few bodies. The situation was very different when the main morgue was still open.
Me interesa más por qué cerrar la morgue.
Why close the hospital's main morgue?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic. Cadavers had to be moved to the nearest mass grave.
Ok.
Why do you have to watch these bodies?
Because these poor fellows have no names. We keep them in case someone comes looking for the missing. Sadly, very rarely happens.
Qué feo. Bueno.
Are you afraid or uneasy being surrounded by so many corpses?
Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels. Flesh left to decay. Poof. No soul anymore. All gone.
Si le pones en esa perspectiva, tiene razón.
An interesting point of view. And quite an exotic one, too. Most people fear, or at least have a respect, for dead flesh.
Sir, as a medic during the war, I learned to face my death and the death of others. It's the pain we have to tame, not death itself.
Nueva pista.
How did you get this job?
After I left the army, I worked as an undertaker down by the docks. A dangerous place with many an unpleasant business there. Milton Hooks helped me get a job here.
Milton Hooks.
Have we met before?
I don't think so, sir. Why?
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me since I was reported dead.
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body. She must be very relieved now.
Excepto que la maté. A ver.
A pawnbroker? I expect you get all types of people here.
Yes, sir. All kind of people. For I sell all kind of goods.
Who comes here to trade with you? It's very unhygienic, even unsafe. Diseases can spread. For the customers, for the hospital.
I'm very cautious, sir. I've been a doctor, remember? And all my clients are good people. In fact, I think I only know good people.
Es un poco presuntuoso, la verdad, pensar que solamente conoces a buenas personas. No las conoces del todo. Así que no puedes saber concretamente si son buenas personas.
What kind of goods?
With the quarantine, it's not always easy to buy things. So I trade, I exchange. Some people sell, some others buy. I like to help.
Ok.
Since you're not afraid of dying, do you believe in life after death, Rakesh?
No, I believe we must do all the good we can while alive. For our time is short, and the obstacles are endless.
Do you think you would enjoy immortality as a concept?
I don't think so. Don't mistake me. I love life, and I'd like to live a long life. But everything has to decay, sir. Even goodwill.
So you're ready to die?
No, I am not. I don't fear death, for I won't see it. What troubles me is the pain my death will inflict to those I know.
You're a wise man, Mr. Chidana.
No, Dr. Reed. I am a foolish man. But I like to think otherwise.
Me agrada ese hombre. No comparto 100% todo lo que dice, pero me agrada.
Do you really believe goodwill cannot last?
As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never die, goodness, I would be bored or worse. And I like to be helpful, sir.
Quite depressing, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but the good news is we'll all die before losing our humanity, sir.
Curioso. Negociemos. Rumores de extorsión.
Have you heard of someone blackmailing people in the hospital?
Pardon me, sir, but I have no idea what you're talking about.
Ok, negociemos.
Please show me what you have to sell.
Of course. It's just trinkets and curios, really. But I'm sure they can be useful.
Tártaro ferroso. Puede encontrarse muchos fortificantes baratos por un suplido. Lucio. Codeína. Potasio diluido. Opio. Opio encontré bastante. Y para vender... Reloj. Este sí podría venderlo. Siempre valioso de verdad Clay Cots. Una de cada. Seguimos.
never ceases to amaze me how you
¿Ves? Tengo más obvio. ¿Qué parte es esta? Es como la parte de atrás, ¿se podría hacer? ¿El hospital? Parte inconclusa.
My sweet girl. Reads me like a book.
A ver.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
Rumores de extorsión.
Have you heard talk of any blackmail here at the hospital?
No. Nothing.
Ah, sos mucho. Sos muy de ayuda. No. No, nada más. Me falta una pista nada más. Capaz que si hablo con estos doctores me puedan decir más.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
The words to calm the children.
¿Un catarro?
As for me, what a blundering idiot.
A ver, señora.
Dr. Reed, may I help you?
Sí, ¿te puedes lavar las manos, por favor? Me pone nerviosa que... No estén lavadas las manos. Es como... Señora, no puede tocar a los pacientes así con las manos.
What can you tell me about the epidemic, Nurse Crane? I've been out of touch since I've come back to England.
Everyday folk don't know how bad it is. The papers certainly won't tell them. Not as long as the war is raging on, anyway.
News on the front stated that the Spanish flu was under control, at least in Britain.
It seemed to be for a while, but that was only last summer. It returned with a vengeance just over a month ago.
Bien.
What can you tell me about our patients here at Pembroke?
This hospital was founded to help the East End poor and needy. But since the war and the quarantine, we've had all manner of folk.
Can you be more specific?
Well, veterans, the elderly, dock workers. We even have a few mental patients. If there's space, we take them.
Entiendo. Preguntas personales.
For how long have you been working here, Nurse Crane?
I first volunteered at the Pembroke in 1911, a few months after Dr. Swansea was appointed.
And before you arrived here?
If you must know, this was my first job.
Primer trabajo. Wow.
Well, Dr. Swansea certainly has confidence in your abilities. Are you in charge of the nursing staff?
Not in an official capacity, but the Pembroke doesn't always work above board, so to speak.
What about medical protocols?
Dr. Reed, we don't have the money and resources here at the Pembroke like they do in the West End. We do what we can.
O sea que no hay protocolo, o sea, haz lo que puedas. Como puedas.
How is the duty roster organized?
Everybody works until they can't. If there's time, they'll eat a meal and shed a silent tear.
Ah, tranqui. Creo que nada más. Pista bloqueada. Pilar. Pilar. Doctor Crane. Grave, pero todavía no. El distrito donde está ella no. No lo descubrí. No, nada más, adiós.
I'll see you later, Nurse Crane.
ver. Ah, no, acá se puede. Eso hacia allá. Este programa no puede admitir más pacientes. Este hospital lleno, por favor, regrese a su casa. Ergotomina.
The flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfield, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up again soon enough. Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet Lady of Mercy.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. It's a pleasure to see you again. You seem surprised. Dr. Swansea has brought me up to speed concerning your recent appointment to Pembroke Hospital.
You're a vamp... The lady who saved me that night, before vanishing into thin air. I remember you from the pub with Dr. Swansea.
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself formally this time. My name is Lady Ashbury. I remember you well, in spite of the brevity of our encounter.
O sea, la mesera que nos encontramos, si no digo mal. Bien. Me alegra volver a verlo.
Apologies. You've taken me by surprise. I'm very happy to see you.
The pleasure is mine, Doctor.
I hope you're more disposed to answer my questions now.
You must have countless questions, but our rather urgent matter first. Swansea has explained. My cover, if you prefer, has been compromised.
A ver, vamos a ver.
Have any of the patients given you trouble?
These poor souls have so little left to live for. I do my best to ease their pain.
No tengo dudas. Por el momento no la conozco tanto. O sea, le creo.
The world would be a better place if it were cared for by women like you.
You make me blush. I am simply a necessary evil.
Tengo preguntas sobre vampiros.
Pardon my boldness, your ladyship, but I have questions concerning this condition we share.
As a newborn, your hunger for answers is rivaled only by your thirst for blood. But the questions need wait.
I'm a scientist. My trade is in the deciphering of mysteries, and I need information to feed my mind.
I will gladly answer every question you have, but first, prove yourself capable of resolving my predicament without eating the culprit.
Ok.
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be your agent in this matter. You could start by explaining what's amiss.
These past insufferable weeks, I've been the victim of extortion.
Extorsión.
I've made a first payment, but the blackmailer grows greedy. I must refuse his most recent demands.
A ver, vamos a ver las otras preguntas.
What are your expectations? Please be precise.
As the newly appointed surgeon of this hospital, you are in an excellent position to ask innocent questions and deftly learn the identity of my blackmailer.
Bien.
Who would be so foolish as to threaten you? A kindred spirit.
Even if it were the case, and I highly doubt it, a vampire would have asked for something more valuable than money. My suspicions lean toward a patient or their family.
Ok. Puede ser que sea un humano, no un vampiro.
If we're dealing with an ordinary criminal, surely you've the means to deal with it yourself, if I may.
As immortal tradition doth dictate, all fangs and hypnotic eyes ablaze, the blood would run like a river. That's what I hope to avoid. Violence has a tendency to spiral out of control.
Ok.
Please continue. Every detail is essential. I'm your man.
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only by my shame at having put the hospital at risk. The threat from our anonymous scoundrel is clear. A list of dates. My visits coinciding with the dates of suspicious patient deaths due to massive blood loss.
¿Es verdad?
Is it true?
Now aren't you the blunt one?
Excuse my impertinence, your ladyship. This is not an interrogation. I assure you that this line of questioning is in your best interest.
In all honesty, I'm not simply a patron to the hospital. My visits serve a dual purpose. Dr. Swansea has been treating my condition with a revolutionary technique of blood transfusion. It seems you are a specialist in the domain.
I'll take care of it. Do you know where I should start?
If that was the case, I'd settle the matter myself. You could talk to our local gossip, Harriet Jones. Not a pin drops here without her hearing about it.
I'll meet that woman now.
My life, as others know, is in your hands, Dr. Reed. I'm sure of your discretion, but I do fear your powers of persuasion will be put to the test. When this is resolved, I'll be your obligé. I'll answer all questions in regards of your condition.
Me encanta que le dicen condición. 2000.
Good evening, Dr. Tibbets.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
Acá tengo todo. Preguntas personales, tengo todo. No tengo una pista.
Have you heard of any underhand dealings going on in this hospital?
I have no time for such triviality, my dear colleague. We're here to save lives.
Bueno, no mucho más. Tiene bastantes pistas. Bueno.
Goodbye, Dr. Tibbets.
Me gustaría entrar para hacer materiales y cosas así. Usa bastante. Nada más. Doctor Swansea. Acá puedo salir. Más. Vamos a ver. Puedo un tratamiento para la anemia. Está bueno. Un tratamiento para la septicemia. Bien. Para resfriado no tengo. Necesito esencia de clavo de olor. Para bronquitis también. Y esto necesito todo. Suero regenerativo de elegir, regenerativo de instante y si uno. Listo. Y de sangre. También. Perfecto. Armas. ¿Puedo mejorarla? No. Es una estaca usada y palo de empleo. Este. Tampoco. Plancha de plomo para. A ver, solamente me falta una estaca usada. Ah, nada más. Creo que nada más. Y no. Dormir un poco. Nunca viene mal. Lo más rojo eso. Morder. $10% más al curar. Sí, yo lo usaría. Estas paseadas están buenas. ¿100 más de salud? Sí, también. Aumentar la absorción de sangre cuando usas la mordida. Esto sí también. Bien. Habilidades. $2000. No hay bueno ya. Nivel 8 requerido. Defensivas. 1300 puntos. Tampoco llego. Autofagia. 1300 puntos. Bueno, autofagia vendría bastante bien. Ah, tengo 2. 200 de curación. Intercambiar los objetos de forma instantánea por una mayor regeneración. Y acá es tener más sangre para curarte de forma instantánea y obtener un impulso adicional para... de curación. No sé qué es mejor, este o este. Estoy nivel 7 todavía. Creo que nada más. 600. que eso, ¿no? Puede hasta incluso nivel 2. No me da los... hasta gran set. Nivel 8, sí. Saludable. Muy bien. 800 de experiencia. Puedo obtener más experiencia. Vamos a ver. Qué raro, en recepción no haya nadie.
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
Bueno, necesito pistas. Rumores de
Have you heard any talk of blackmail going on in the hospital?
If you're running some official inquiry, you had better question the patients. They know more than the staff, especially old Miss Jones.
Miss Jones, ok.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Ninguno me sabe decir.
Reads me like a book.
Falling apart. But in the circumstances, I'm willing to give.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
Tell me, Waverly, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
And are you not afraid that your rivalry with Strickland may be blinding you?
Rivalry? I guess you could call it that. But I will never be childish enough to let my personal feelings affect my judgment.
Why do you wish to lead this surgery?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
Es un punto de vista conservador.
Other people may say that's too conservative a point of view.
Conservative? And what are you going to say to Mr. Fiddick if he loses his arm because of the operation? Because that's what's going to happen if the surgery is a failure.
El tema es que si quieres hacer algo experimental, el paciente tiene que estar de acuerdo.
Have you heard about any blackmail going on in this hospital?
Blackmail? Nonsense.
Así de un plumazo. No me importaría matarte, la verdad. Y darme 2600 de experiencia. Aunque si te desbloqueo, vas a tener más. Sos bastante molesto.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Doctor,
As for me,
Hospital seems to be
sos bastante molesto.
But in the circumstances, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No,
Really? Why are you here then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. and no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
Presiona, para verificar el estado de salud del ciudadano. Se aumentará su calidad de sangre y tendrá referencia al estado de salud.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir. I don't mean to be a burden.
Administrar medicamentos.
You are not a burden, sir. Healing you is my responsibility.
And you have my gratitude for that.
Para falta ya. Subí en Londres.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
No dejaré descansar.
I'll let you get some rest, then.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
Okay.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Bueno, a ver.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
No fue barato.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
Qué mal.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
Aprovechándose de la desesperación, ¿eh?
Have you heard rumors of blackmail going on in this hospital?
Dr. Reed, are you trying to take advantage of me?
Of course not, Mrs. Goswick. I'm just curious.
Well, go be curious somewhere else, please.
Ella tampoco es muy amable, que digamos.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
I will not let you down, my boy. Good evening, sir.
Sí, igual veo esos ojos y decís, ¿qué le pasa?
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gonna feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head.